Hello everyone. Well, look at this gorgeous weather, and it's a weekend. I'm off work, it's not raining, let's not push it. Let me get my camera right that way. So we are in Belper area, and this weekend we are going to see some interesting things like this, and also this, and that's all to come. It's Friday afternoon. We've just had a spot of lunch, some peri salad cobs, very yummy, and we are actually on a caravan and motorhome club site. Got a free stay. There's quite a lot to do in this area. We're just up the road from Ambergate, and that's going to be one of the areas we are going to visit tomorrow on the bikes. Our Emma's making her way up tomorrow, so we'll fast forward to tomorrow. Saturday morning, and we are heading up towards that windmill. I'm not driving, look who's joined us. Our Ramsey's joined us. So we are heading to, I don't know if you can see it now because it's Headge Windmill, and it's actually a working windmill. Catch you when we get there. Look at that. There's two of the they call them blades, are off at the moment for repair, but looking very impressive. So here we are at Heage Windmill. I believe it's part of the Heritage Society, run by volunteers, and it's the only working windmill in Great Britain with 6 sails and a stone tower. And 2 of the doobie-dars, them blades, sails, that's it, are being repaired, and part of them are over there. So we have the history of the windmill. It dates back to 1790. At one point then it was virtually totally gone. Struck with lightning to be restored. Let's go take a look inside. A gorgeous view as well. We're camped over there somewhere. Saying that, we might be over there somewhere. Some cogs as well. cracks down there and there. Same with that one there. Yeah. And there's a little shop where you go into, and I think these guys show you around. So we are in a little waiting area, waiting for the guide. Lots of information.
Moving.
Yeah, I think the drape, no, it should be that way. See that wooden beam that's a funny shape, it's banana shape, there, olive one. Yeah, that's the brake beam that touches the rope that goes out. That actually weighs a ton in itself, and that clamps round the wheel itself. Exactly the same principle as how your brakes work on your car. This is a small section of how the cap's made. The cap that we've got on at the moment is called an OG cap. That's OG-E-E, or onion shaped cap. Because obviously if you cut an onion in half that way, you've got all the different sections. But this, you can see, it's double layered larch. Now they use larch because larch is in a wood that's easy to bend when you start heating it, steaming it, to get the shape of things. But as you can see, it's in two different directions. You've got felt in between, which is on anything on the roof. And then again, this is canvas, same as the actual shutters, and these are cedar lats, which is very similar to the wood that we are actually using at the moment. This is part of the ironworks. I'll show you better on this one because it makes clearer. The ironworks that goes around there. So if you think that that piece is that piece there that's missing.
Yeah.
And obviously with that being round, each one of those pieces is not straight, it's slightly curved, as you can see from that.
Oh, yeah.
Just slightly curved. And then of course the rollers that the cap rotate on, that's part of the roller. It's not, well, that's the curve of it, but it's not got the roller in it. So like you can see on there, these would rotate, this is what would turn, the cap would be sitting on top of these, and these rollers are tracked round from the fantail mechanism going around there. This is the top of the tree, if you like, and this is again obviously a cog, and then the brake wheel sits on that and moves that round on there. It's got various diagrams you can see on there, if you're that way inclined, that is. This is one of our tea towels, and this is for sale in the shop. There's a pretty green and white one as well. The other one's just got a pretty picture of the windmill, but this gives you an idea of where we are in the windmill. The centre upright shaft, the striking rod going through, and of course the chain and rope would be there, the fantail. And you can see how the sails are fit there. And again, cogs onto cogs, and the two stones on the floor below, and that's where we were to start with. Ah. The holes you can see on the wall round there are bolt holes, and they've got 8-foot bolts coming right from the top to the bottom, and they bolt the ironworks on. And that's a core out of there. The windmill is 222 years old this year. So you can imagine trying to drill them through that. I mean, they're probably thinking, thank goodness it's sandstone and it's soft. But, you know, drilling them all the way round to fasten the ironworks on over 200 years ago. I get so excited when I see something. Yeah. This is the grain that we use. You can see how small these pieces of grain are. And what fascinates me is these tiny, tiny pieces of grain have to go through something huge, like the stones we've got downstairs, to turn into flour. But there's an easier way of doing it. There's a smaller way of doing it. And this is it. If you've not got a windmill at the top of your garden, you can use this. As you can see, that rises flour out there. You can have a go if you like. That's putting wholemeal flour. So what we call wholemeal flour means all the grain ground together. Whole wheat is the grain, but when you've ground it, it becomes meal. So that's wholemeal, or brown flour as we call it. So, I mean, you can have a go. I don't think you can't. Go on, have a go. So what we've got here is the wholemeal. We sweep this up at the end of the day so we can show you this next thing. So we need now to sieve this out into a white flour. We need to get a white flour out of a brown flour. So we are now trying to transfer the flour. What you've got, that's one piece of bran, and you can see the flour is on inside. The outside is the bran, the shell if you like, we're not quite the shell. And then of course you've got the germ in there, which is wheat germ. You've heard of wheat germ?
Yeah.
Wheat germ's very good for you as well. I like wheat germ, it's quite tasty. So, this is just a model of the big one we've got downstairs. This again is aimed at children and people being able to do it. So, if you see me put some oatmeal in there, it's on a slope and we've got 3 drawers underneath. Now, in between the drawers and this are pieces of mesh, different sizes of mesh. So, you'll see what happens. This is rotated, we get the kids to do this, and then it divides.
Oh.
I always say that little bit of flour's done all that, but it's not obviously. But this is how it divides it out, and this is so easy to be done. You can do this at home. This is a normal sieve that everybody's got at home that you use for either your peas or whatever, but you can buy different mesh sieves nowadays. And if I mix that up, that becomes wholemeal, and then the kids can go on forever with doing that. Spare wheel. While she stopped, you can see that it's got 2 rows of interlinking wooden cogs like those, but they were severely damaged. You can see the damage that occurs on here anyway. So they was taken off and a band of iron put on, and that was done before we came along. That was done before it stopped milling, if you like, in its first life. But it was allowing it to be easily worked, so as the only damage that's going to happen is going to happen to these. So the grain comes down the chute from above and into this vat here. In there you can see a leather strap that's attached to this piece of string, and a sack of grain tipped in there would cover that leather strap, but as it's working its way out, it's going to drop below that strap, and that's going to then wobble and ring this bell. And this is the miller's 3-minute warning.
All right.
Get off your backside, put your cup of tea down and go up and put some more grain in. So that's what that one's for. So to engage the stones, it's quite simple. This is our safety chain that we just put up. But up there, you'll see there's a block of wood. They can lift that out, and then this is pushed forward and to the right. That would then engage cogs onto cogs. The block of wood put round the other side to hold it in place. You can see these are getting damaged. These are the original set that we put in when we opened in 2002, so we think we've done fairly well with these. We're ready to put another set in, which is great. So the pattern on these stones is what actually slices the grain. I say that because it does slice it, it don't grind it like we call it stone ground. So the bottom stone and the top stone, the bottom stone is called the bed stone that we can see in there. And the top stone is the one that rotates. It's not the bed stone. The bed stone stays put, it's fixed. Like the little one that we had to go up, or I had to go up.
Yeah.
Rotates like that. So he's with him because, you know, 200 years ago he's got to be walking, hasn't he? So he would take the metal piece with him, and a man that's got a metal piece for his tool, you know, that is... we lift these gates up, we put these in actually, but we lift these gates up when we're actually milling so we can get straight through to there. And you can see the trapdoors, the original hinges that they used were leather. They didn't use metal a lot until, I don't know when, probably this century, wouldn't it be? No, last century. Oh, we're 2 centuries, aren't we? Don't time fly. So, right, we go back. Midlands Mills Group, that was 1995 when we first started the restoration on that. But this is a little fireplace, and this is where we turn this floor into Santa's grotto on the first Sunday in December, and this is where Santa sits. And obviously we put twinkly lights in. Luckily we've got battery ones now, so it's a lot easier. But this is the board all about the names that we know, you know, the shutters, the numbers on the shutters. Obviously number 1's Alan Gifford. And then we've got a connection with the Banting Bomb guy from Ripley, which is local, and of course the family and the builders and the pilots' families, I should say, the 49 Squadron, the bottom one up there, and majority of those were volunteers that was helping out. Major sponsors right at the beginning, right from the lottery. They gave us with the drawers upstairs. This is the big one. This is the only one that we cheat with. This is powered by electricity. There's a little motor up there. So this is your flower dresser. So all the wholemeal flour comes down the chute, and if we just want to run wholemeal, we just run it straight down into sacks there and then change the sacks. These are the sacks that we get the grain in, and we use them as much as we can. Stay up. I don't know. I'll get John to have a look at that. So you can see there's a little door here that Miller has to take this out, and he catches some flour and he can feel the fineness and see that it's right. It's not too fine, well, not too fine, not too coarse. And he can
Well, that was interesting. Absolutely brilliant tour. Lots to see. So there's just a few highlights. Didn't really film it all. Just a few sections for you to have a look at. Very interesting. Lots of history. I said they're all volunteers, but they know the stuff. 2 sails are under the marquee, as you probably saw as we entered. They are just completing rebuilding those. Well, they just finished painting them, and then it's just a case of organising a crane on a nice calm day to lift them up, as they do weigh a ton or over each. Very good. Lots of information on the workings of the mill, and you start up at the top. You can't go into the what they call the cap itself, but they show you examples of the bearings, what it's like, and all the history of when it was struck by lightning and they had to rebuild it all. Very interesting. So if you're in the area, or you fancy visiting a windmill, or just something different to do for the day, well worth a visit. They have events as well. There's a car show on tomorrow, but the weather's going to take a turn tomorrow with wind and rain. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough wind today, even though it's picking up now, for the sails to turn.
And they're in the wrong place anyway.
Because it's blowing from the wrong direction, it won't turn the, they call it the flag wheel. So the flag wheel turns, and it's fantail, that's it, and it turns the sails. Unfortunately, that's in the wrong position, but on your tour, if it's wind's in right position, they'll have that running for you and show you it all working on the inside, and yes, worth a visit. So we're going to finish a drink, and we are going to head into Ambergate and go and explore them woods and find them abandoned buildings. Yeah. Jess is looking forward to that one. Catch you in a bit. So we are now in Shinning Cliff Woods in Ambergate, and we've only been on the bikes a few minutes, and we've already come across an old abandoned cottage, and there's quite a few of these dotted round. Obviously, as they've deteriorated over the years, people's got in, vandalised them further. And obviously at one point it's been set on fire. It makes you wonder how they come into a state of disrepair in the first place. So this is the other side. There's one at Scrapman, ain't at that. So I did have a load of history printed out about the area we're in, and guess which Wally's gone and forgot it? Emma, she's left it in her car. So yes, there were 3 separate ones. Now I do believe these might be owned by the British Rail now. The other area where we're going to go, the factories and the abandoned mansion are owned by British Rail. They were formerly owned by the Hearst family, which also run, now I think they ran the wireworks. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to get the information back up on my phone if I can. And that's why it's called the Hearst Mansion. And on the main road you've got the Hearst pub. It was extended at some point, but we'll get all that information when we get there. So just around the corner from the cottages, which we've just come from that direction, these are the old abandoned wireworks factories, and these are owned by the British Rail. Well, I've been having a ride round. Unfortunately you can't get up to the old house anymore. It's all fenced off with new fencing, and it looks like there's some guys actually doing something up there. A couple of guys in front of us with some films, must have been YouTubers, bloody YouTubers. They went up and got kicked off, so we didn't even bother. But what I'll do, I'm going to drop a link to a video where a guy does actually go up there and have a good look round and tell you a bit about the history of it as well. Where me, still forgot it. Terrible. So, but we are now, let me spin you guys around. So as you can see, we are now here. I still don't know how to know that, but anyway, we are going to make our way up to the cliff. And so we'll go past the hostel, and there's a bit of history on the hostel, when it was built and what they do. So we're going to try and make our way up there. It's a bit of hard work for them now, look, because it's all uphill. There's the cliff face. I think there's some people at the top going to abseil down just there. I was expecting it bringing us out on top of the cliff, but now we're at the bottom. Jess is getting mega warm, hats off, look. And they've got some little wooden classrooms you can rent, and one further down there, and the hostel's also down there. Must have took some, well, must have been a pain to get the materials in to build it, because there's no access roads and it's built out of concrete blocks. But let's crack on. So we have just finished out the woods, and we're back in Amber Gate. This is the cricket grounds, and we have just come down that road there, which is closed off at the moment for traffic. We are going to head over there for a lovely drink. I think it's that way. We've got to hang around till 4:30 for the fish shop opening, haven't we? And there you can go and wish all your sins away. Why so serious? We are at the Hurt Arms. having a lovely drink. Jess is on strong stuff again.
Yep.
Emma's on alcohol-free stuff. Why is that, Emma?
Driving.
Driving. Me not driving, me on a pint. And where else were we planning on going, Jessica? Matlock Illuminations. That's probably not going to happen now as well. Bloody weather. Tell them off work.
They seen us with pizza and said, I'll not cure your hiccups.
Back at the van, tea time, got some pizza. Not bad, look at that, how it's come out at Bridge Monkey. And I sat outside and had a lovely glorious evening. Lovely and warm. And then tomorrow it's going to be dreadful
My
weather.
hiccups have gone.
And Jess's hiccups are gone. See, how to cure hiccups? Pizza. Catch you all you guys in the next one. Bye.